Hello. Today we're going to be learning how to use the KLA-10 Core P-7 Profiler. Step 1, starting up the software. From the desktop, open up the Profiler 9.0 software. The system will take several seconds to initialize, during which time you'll see the lights turn on and off, and the stage move around. Once finished, the software will open to the main menu. Step 2, using the main menu. From the main menu, you can review sequence data, modify or create a sequence recipe, look at scan data, or create or use a scan recipe. You can view and modify a previously used recipe if you would like, but today we are going to create a new recipe. Step 3, configuring a recipe. The new recipe will open to scan parameter definition. You can adjust the scan speed from 2 microns per second to 25,000, although a medium value like 50 or 100 is considered typical. You can also lower the sampling rate to provide smoother data, or increase the sampling rate to get more information. You can also adjust the multi-scan average to compensate for noise and vibration by taking an average of multiple scans. You can adjust the scan direction, although left to right is what's recommended. You can also change the applied force. Although the recommended maximum is 2 milligrams worth of force, please do not exceed this without given permission. You can also adjust the range and resolution. If you don't know the height of your sample, 1048 microns is the recommended amount. Change the profile type depending on whether you are measuring peaks, valleys, or peaks and valleys. As well as the basic settings, the Profiler software also adds feature detection, filter cursors, and the calculation of roughness, waviness, or other feature parameters, among many other settings. For full descriptions, check the manual or check with a staff member. Step 4, loading a sample. Once your recipe is configured as you would like it, go ahead and load your sample. Don't open the door and place the sample directly on the stage without unloading the stage. This can damage the stylus and be very expensive. Instead, go to XY mode using the menu bar and press Manual Load. This will bring the stage out to you, away from the stylus. Now, open the door and place your sample in the center of the stage. Take note of the 5 vacuum holes in the center of the stage. While not required for a scan, if you want to use the vacuum for a sequence recipe, make sure they're covered before switching the vacuum on. Once again, these are not always necessary. After you've loaded your sample, close the door and press Manual Load to bring the sample underneath the stylus. Press Focus to autofocus the camera and stylus over your sample. After the focus step is complete, you can now navigate across your sample using the arrows in the menu bar and adjusting the speed. You can also use the arrow keys on the keyboard to the same purpose. As you navigate, take care of how the system moves around. For larger samples, to move across it, you can click on the wafer map on the right. This is a fast movement and will defocus the camera, requiring you to refocus it after you've arrived at your location. This defocusing is for the purpose of making sure the stylus tip is not struck or damaged by the sample. Be aware that you can zoom up to 4x magnification. To set a scan path, you can do this from the recipe, but the easier way is to click and drag across the screen. This will determine your scan path and update it in your recipe. Note also the start, center, and end options in the recipe. These change the origin point in the XY mode to the start, center, or end point of your scan. This is especially helpful in scans that exceed the visible area of the stage. If you need to rotate your sample, be sure to press manual load to bring it to a safe location first. At this point, you can adjust it using the lever. Make sure that when you're done adjusting it, the sample is resting on one of the stop points and isn't going to vibrate. You should feel a small click when you are at a stop point. Step 5, running your scan. Before running your scan, take a close look at your sample and make sure the stylus is positioned above the highest point of the sample and not to the sides. Failure to do so can result in accidental damage to the stylus. Once you've confirmed this and you've focused on the feature you would like, press Start. The camera will defocus to make room for the stylus as it scans across your sample. While it scans, make sure not to create any excess vibration or even loud noises, as this can affect the quality of your scan. Once the scan is completed, the software will immediately load the data in the analysis page. Step 6, data analysis. The first step of using the analysis tool is to level your data. Click the level button and drag the leveling cursors to 2 points on your data that you know to be equal in height. Press level again to set that as the 0 point for your height. Note that the software doesn't know where the 0 level is. This is something that you are determining for it. Drag from the sides of the cursors to make them wider or narrower, and average out the data you've collected to set that height. After leveling the data, use the measurement cursors to set the 2 locations you would like to measure between on your data. Note how the cursor data on the left side of the window changes as you drag the cursors, and when you press Calc, the parameter summary at the bottom of the screen updates. You can also use the analysis page to look at the waviness and the roughness data. To save data for further analysis later, use the File menu and Save Data. Here, you can create a custom folder for yourself and save the data there. This is not a plain text file. That is something that we'll learn how to do next. Step 7. Exporting scan data. To save data as a plain text or image file, click on the blue icon in the menu bar. This will open the KLA-Tencor Mountains software. You may need to use Alt-Tab to navigate to the software after you've opened it. Here, you'll see your data again. If you go to the analysis workflow and right-click on your data, you can insert levels, mirrors, remove forms, filters. Today we are just going to level it again. There are multiple ways to do this, by subtraction, by rotation. But I am going to exclude the data that I don't want to use for the level model. There are also multiple leveling methods that you can apply here. 2 bars is closer to the one that we use in the base software. Minimum zone does it automatically, but also is more prone to errors. Press OK, and now you have your leveled profile curve. You can insert as many operators as you would like. You can filter out any roughness that you see that you don't want in that data, although keep in mind you may be removing the substrate topology. Once you have edited your data as much as you would like, go ahead and right-click to save the profile. You can save it as a proprietary file type or as a plain text data, which is more useful for exporting to other systems. Note the different options available to you as you save your data. You can also right-click on the graph to save it as an image for reporting. Step 8, finishing up. Once finished, go ahead and close out of the analysis page and then use XY mode to return your sample to you using the manual load button. Make sure that the vacuum is off before retrieving your sample. Afterwards, use manual load to return the stage to its home position, and then close out of the recipe editor. You can save the recipe as a new recipe if you would like. You can now open it at any time. Go to Scan Data if you would like to review the data that you have saved from your session. Otherwise, close out of the profiler the same way you would with any other Windows software. This concludes the video guide. Please direct any questions to a staff member. Thank you.